Hello everyone. So this is UPSC Mains 2021 GS paper 1 and this is the third part. We have to discuss from question 16 to 20. These are good questions and will look simple, but to get good marks out of 15 you need to write some good points. Whatever you have written, you have done that, right? Right now focus on optional. I'm making in between that period when GS4 has been done, the GS papers has been done and optional is left. So focus on optional now. And it's all about like we all have heard about Nunal sir. So very long back, I guess, he has said that we all write bad answers in mains. The only thing is try to write somewhat better. But the thing is now the competition is getting stiffer and stiffer. So the question answer quality is improving. That will happen. That's a but obvious thing. Let's not waste time. Start. 16th. Discuss the multi-dimensional implications of uneven distribution of mineral oil in the world. Uneven distribution mineral oil in the world. So distribution of resources. Now, this is a question which can be kept in geography, plus it has so many other implications as well. So what you can do is you can make a map here. Do make a map, if world map, if it's possible for you, and show Western Asia part, then US, Russia, Canada, how Western Asia has. Don't write Middle East. Don't be a stupid and write Middle East. It is not Middle East for us. It is Middle East for US, and you are not American. You are an Indian. So write Western Asia. Make a map, show it. Western Asia has almost 50% of world oil reserve and all those stuff. Then after making the map, you have to talk about the implications. And here it's important that you divide your answer into different parts. Like what is political implications or what are political implications? Then what are social economic implications, environmental implications? That will, your answer will look good and it will be easier for examiner to check. So what are political implications here? So US interference in West Asian affairs. We have talked about Gulf War, or you may have heard about Gulf War. So what are these Gulf War? Indirectly or directly, whatever interference you're seeing of US in Western Asia, that has oil to play a role in it. So US interference in West Asian affairs or Gulf War, etc., they are showing you one of the political implications of unequal distribution of mineral oil. Then it has also led to development of blocks like OPEC, OPEC plus, and they are having their own regional dynamics. They're playing their own politics. Then countries like India, if we talk about India, India is importing almost around 80% of their oil. And most of this 80% oil import, which we are doing. So let's say we need 100 milliliter of oil. Out of those 100 milliliter, 80 milliliter we have to import from outside. So we are importing most of that portion from Western Asia. So hence any political destabilization which happens in oil rich or mineral oil rich West Asia, they have multidimensional impact on world order, of which India is a crucial pivot. What I'm using the word here, pivot. Now, these are the points which most of the people will write. I will tell you something which most of the people will not write. But before we talk about that, what most people will not write or write, what is pivot? You may have seen this. Let's see how many of you have seen this. So this is pivot. Pivot is a very crucial element, central element. India is a very central element of this whole geopolitical turmoil or whatever things which happen, it impacts India. Any political destabilization in mineral oil rich West Asian countries has multi-dimensional impact on world order. And out of that world order, India is a crucial pivot, 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 pivot. Okay, let's move on. So we were talking about, so I just told you that these are some points you will talk about when we are talking about the political implications. Then you have to come to the next part, economic and social implications. Economic and social implications. I've talked with many students, many of my students, and many of them have written very good answers, but very few of them have talked about resource curse or Dutch disease. That is also one of the issues. When you have uneven distribution of mineral oil, let's say there's one country which has too much oil or too much of any particular resource. They will focus on that particular sector. They will ignore other sector, leading to skewed development. And when that particular resource is exhausted, they become very, very poor. So this is called as resource curse, which is sometimes also synonymously seen with Dutch disease. So we'll talk about resource curse in just a moment. First thing, good point about economic and social implications. You do have job opportunities in these oil-rich countries. And that's why we have a huge diaspora. Job opportunities they do provide. And that's why in Western Asia, you will read diaspora. You have read diaspora when you're reading GS to international relation. So you must have seen, we have huge diaspora in Western Asia. When you read diaspora, there is a very famous saying about this diaspora, that diaspora in US or in North American areas, they provide us political stability. Then diaspora in Western Asia, they provide us economic stability. They give us so much remittances. Then diaspora in Fiji and all those countries, Fiji, Mauritius, they provide us cultural stability. What is cultural stability? Even if you go to Fiji right now, the culture which we had in India 200 years back, that culture you will see in Fiji. Maybe you cannot see that culture right now here in India, but you will see that culture in Fiji. They have the people who have gone from here. They have kept intact our culture. So all these things, you may have read about it in diaspora. I'm making a topic-wise video on GS2 also. Let's see when I complete it, but whenever time permits, I do that, and I will try to complete the GS2 videos topic-wise and then history optional videos topic-wise. Focus here. So this is one economic social implication. Good point. Then the bad point is, what is the bad point? The bad point is resource cuts. All these countries, you will see most of these countries, they have a totalitarian government because they want to control that good thing, the good resource which they have. So that leads to something known as resource curse or paradox of plenty. Hope you can see this. So what is happening? They're just focusing on one particular area. They're ignoring other areas, leading to skewed development. And when that particular resource is exhausted, the other industry remains growless and they're not competitive. So country as a whole is poor. So this is one issue. So these are some points which we will talk about in economic and social implications. Then talk about environmental implications. Environmental implications. So what are environmental implications of this uneven distribution of mineral oil? Keep on reiterating the topic so that examiner feel that you are not deviating from the topic. That is a very important thing in essay as well as in GS. So environmental implications, just think logically. These countries, these are very rich in what? Rich in oil. So why will they want a transition to a renewable energy? So these countries, now they directly or indirectly try to delay transition to clean energy. Delay transition to clean energy. So that is one environmental implication. Delay transition to clean energy. So you have enough point, man, so that any question similar to like this, if it comes later on also, you are able to, or you'll be able to write good answer. So uneven distribution, you can conclude it by talking about all these points. You will make a map, you will write all these dimensions. So you'll be able to fill all your pages, and then you will be, see, sometimes people ask, what is more important, quantity or quality? Both are important, man. You have to fill pages also, because let's say you're a very good student, you know all the points, you have been given 4 pages, you're able to write only 1.5 pages, you have left 2.5 pages in almost all the questions. Examiner will get an impression that maybe you're not knowing the stuff. So it happens, man. It's all psychological. That's why means is very subjective. Some amount of luck is also involved there. So uneven distribution of mineral oil has various importance in different domains, be it like from energy security, Dutch disease to adoption of renewable energy source. So that's how you will conclude it. Let's move on to the next point or next question. Means, now you can see here, both these questions are related to implications. What are the main socio-economic implications arising out of development of IT industries in major cities of India? So what are the implications? Here you have to talk about, before you talk about anything, do talk about that this IT industry. Currently what is happening is we are going through 4th industrial revolution. And this whole 4th industrial revolution, and even before the 4th, the 3rd industrial revolution, they have been dominated by IT and ITES. IT and ITES. IT and IT enabled services, like big data is one component, AI, e-commerce. So this whole century will be dominated by these IT and IT enabled services. And we are currently in 4th industrial revolution. To talk about 4th industrial revolution here in this particular question. And when you're talking about this 4th industrial revolution, if possible, just in one line or one chart, you can show that we are currently going through 4th industrial revolution. And this is age of IoT, Internet of Things, AI, big data, and all those. So this whole century is about more or less about these. It will be dominated by these IT sectors or IT industries. Now, the question is not about 4th industrial revolution per se, or this diagram per se. It just gives examiner an idea that you know stuff. Now move on to the core part. Implications. What are the implications? And let's go back to the question and let's see each word very carefully. Each word has a meaning. So socio implications or socio-economic implications arising out of developments in major cities. So you can, if you want, you can divide it into economic implications, social implications. Or if you want to write together, you can do that. So first of all, what will happen when these IT industries are being developed? So we have a huge demographic dividend. We have a very huge, this is a cute way of saying that we have a very large young population. So we write cute words. So extremely backward district, we have given a cute word, aspirational district. Bura lagta hai na, because that doesn't feel good. And that is actually but obvious, and that is good thing also. It has a positive connotation, it has a negative connotation. So you need to have words which have positive connotation. So demographic dividend, to tap it, IT sector will play a crucial role. Anyway, Indian service sector is world renowned. Our service sector in IT domain is world renowned. So more and more IT industries, if they are here, it will help in tapping our demographic dividend. We are very good in this. I was also a software engineer, so we people are do it. Like we people generally go to either engineering or to medical field. It's said ki 50% people, na, they're either in medical domain or engineering domain. Our parents thrust us into those domains. So this is the first part. It will tap the demographic dividend. Then it will give boost to startups. Startups wala point bhi likh lijiyega. Most of you have written it. Whoever I have talked to. So boost to startups. Then what else? Increase in FDI. When you are having these IT industry in major cities, so FDI is also increasing in our country. Amazon, Samsung, etc. So they are coming, and with them, FDI is also coming. Improvement in, and here you can see most of these points are economy related. So you can talk about economic implications. We'll talk about social implications in just a moment. Then improvement in e-governance. Here, if you have read your GS2 e-governance thing, you can use it here also. What is e-governance? So e-governance is using of ICT tools, information and communication technology tools, to improve the delivery of government services or goods. So what happens when you have IT sector, well-developed IT sector, well-developed IT industries, they can act as a facilitator in improving the governance of or the delivery of government services. They can even act and work with government in a PPP model, right? So it will help in plugging off leakages. So that is one thing. Gender empowerment. You can talk about gender empowerment. So what is the point here with gender empowerment? As like IT industry, they provide ample opportunities for women in quality jobs. Not like women also work in agriculture sector. They have to work from poor families, but those are not quality jobs. These are quality jobs. It's not like all the jobs in agriculture sector are not non-quality. There are some quality jobs, but we are talking about IT industry per se. So here it also promotes gender empowerment. Now, when you're talking about gender empowerment, now we have moved on to the social sector. So it's better if you social implications. It's better if you divide your answer into two parts. Then you can talk about other social changes. You can make a chart like this, or you can make a diagram like this, whatever you want to call it. Other social changes, increasing westernization is happening because of these IT industries, increasing westernization. What else? Or other changes, just write changes if you're not very sure about whether they are. And sometimes there is a blurry line. Maybe it is both social as well as economic change. So just write other changes, increasing westernization, the rise in nuclear families. You have those increasing migration. Nuclear families are there. Migration is happening from rural to urban areas. Then skewed development. This is actually a very good point. You should be writing it before. The good points, right, above, and not so good points right below. So skewed development are actually a good thing because they're talking about major cities. It's not like you have IT industry everywhere. Right now I'm in Guwahati and I don't find any major IT industry here. You go to Delhi, you go to Bangalore, you will have Bangalore. It's said that if you are a software engineer, go there in 50, 20, 30, 40 days, you will have a job. So it's skewed. It's somewhat skewed. Not in tier 2, tier 3 cities, you have IT industry. So that is one thing, skewed development. Plus, one more important thing is you need reskilling. If you want to tap advantage of IT industry, you need reskilling. What used to happen earlier? In earlier world, let's say our father had a 10 to 5 job. So एक skill acquire कर लिया, they have acquired one skill and they will use it for rest of their life. But that will not work now because in IT industry, technology changes. Let's say earlier C was being used, C language. Now C++, C hash, Java, some other language will come and they will dominate. So you need to have reskilling. And that's why World Economic Forum has come with something known as reskilling revolution. So all these things are needed. All these are some of the implications of IT industry, reskilling revolution. Fine. So that's fine. Skewed development part is very important. Do try to emphasize on it more and try to write good points on it. So conclusion part, you can talk about that IT industry should widen their domain to include tier 2 and tier 3 cities to promote holistic and inclusive growth. Saran ma'am. So these are some points which you will talk about in 17, 18. Main objective of population education. And now here there are different parts. Objectives and measures to achieve them. So first of all, define what is population education, then talk about their objectives, what do they want to attain, and then talk about the measures, how we will achieve them. First of all, what is population education? What you will say when you're talking about population education? It is a process of developing awareness and understanding of population situation among people and making them more responsible towards managing the population. That's it. Don't write any negative word like we have to reduce population, etc. We have to control our population. So this is it. Let me reiterate what I said about population education, or this is a video, so you can always go back and rewind it. So I'm stupid, but still, process of developing awareness and understanding of population situation among people and making them more responsible towards managing the population. That is population education. UNESCO has also given one definition on population education. So you can go and see that definition as well. Now, then you will give some charts or some facts. India's population, second largest. By 2027, 30, they are saying that we will be the largest. And it is almost thrice the size of US, 21 times the size of Canada, almost 6 times the size of Japan. Talk about all those points. Then come directly to the point. They're not asking all those facts. They're asking the objectives and measures. So talk about the objectives. Why do you need population education? To promote family planning. You want to promote family planning. What else you want to do? Now, this is a very important point. Again, I have talked to students. They have not written this. Please write this. If you have written it, good. To prevent demographic dividend from becoming demographic disaster. You have a very young population, but if you want to tap it, you have to have a controlled young population. It's not like बढ़ता रहेगा population, free time hai abhi, COVID mein, we have nothing to do, we are creating child in our house. So that will not going to serve the purpose. That is actually will become a demographic disaster if you're not tapping it. You need to have a controlled population. So here, try to write it. Don't write all those things that people have free time right now in COVID. So they're producing or procuring children. I've seen many friends of mine, they are having 2-3 children, God knows why. So yeah, but don't write that. So prevent demographic dividend from becoming demographic disaster. So that's why you need population education. To promote women empowerment. It is generally seen that, and you may have heard it, and this is actually a very popular point, that in families which have literate women, generally the size of the population or size of the family is smaller. So you need to promote women empowerment. If you do population education, you will create empowerment among, or it will promote women empowerment, because यार बच्चे पैदा कौन करता है? Who is producing the child? The woman. She is bearing the brunt. The more child she is producing, the more pain she is suffering or going through. So in a way, if you're promoting population education, you're promoting women empowerment. And do talk about that particular survey, that more literate women, lesser is the, or smaller is the size of the family. Women empowerment point we have talked about. Then what else? To address hunger issue. Hunger issue, that is also the objective. Remember, we're talking about the objective right now. Hunger issue. Global Hunger Index, very popular. Right now we have 101 rank. So many questions have been asked on Hunger Index. Who publishes it? Earlier, there was IFPRI. Now World Hunger Life and Concern Worldwide, they are publishing it. India's rank is 101. So again, the core crux here is population. Here, we have too much population. So that is a major issue. If you have a controlled population, or if you maintain your population, all these issues will take care of itself. Like there are so many people who talk about what is the biggest issue in India right now, or which kind of corruption is the biggest corruption. So according to many political experts, the corruption in political funding is the biggest corruption which we have in our country. If you eradicate that corruption in political funding, which leads to collusive corruption and so many things, everything will take care of itself. Each and every kind of corruption will come down in some way or the other. Similarly here, if you talk about social economic domain, population has so many things associated with it. Hunger issue is one of them. So to address hunger issue also, we need population education. Then to promote sustainable development and prevent stress on our limited economic and natural resources. Here you can talk about the point that we have around 2.4% land worldwide. Let's say there are 100 units land in world, we have 2.4% land. But the population we have is around 17%. So this is not done to it. So there is too much pressure on our limited resources. So to promote sustainable development and prevent stress on limited economic and natural resources, we need population education. That is one of the objectives. So these are some objectives you will talk about. Then measures. Give heading measures and talk about what are the measures you will take. So government, like Indian government, they announced their population policy in 1952. They did that, but work was very less work happened here. Population policy was announced in 1952. Then now you may have heard ASHA workers and these Anganwadi workers, they promote contraceptive devices. And earlier there was a very dominant, like only women were using this, but now that thing is decreasing. Men and women, both of them are using contraceptive devices and contraception things and all those stuff. So yeah, then creating awareness about concepts like TFR, total fertility rate, replacement level fertility, and who is creating awareness. Different surveys are happening now. And these are like NFHS 4, National Family Health Survey 4, 5. All these are creating awareness that what is total fertility rate, what is replacement level fertility, and all these things will go a long way in achieving the objectives of population education. Then you can say that incentivizing, the word here is incentivizing. Who you will incentivize? Incentivizing NGOs, any these kind of social work. You need NGOs, you need SHGs, you need ASHA workers, you need Anganwadi workers. If you incentivize them, like to educate people in rural and urban areas about family planning measures, that will also go a long way in achieving the objective of population education. So all these points you will talk about. And I think if you talk about all these points, you will get, or you should get good marks. ठीक है? And let's move on to the next part, sir and ma'am. 19th question, cryptocurrency, how does it affect global society? Oh man, today and these days, if you open your TV or even YouTube, on YouTube, Akshay Kumar was there with that Horlicks ad. But now, yeah, you will see Coin DCX, so many coin exchanges, this crypto coin exchanges. You know, Aishman Quran and all those guys are promoting it. So let's move on to this thing. It is affecting Indian society. What is cryptocurrency? What is it? It is a virtual currency. What is virtual currency? Real currency means which you can touch or feel. ₹1 ka coin, that is a real currency. It is a virtual currency. You cannot touch it. It's existing in virtual world. So it's a virtual currency and it is working on blockchain technology. Simple definition, don't make it too complicated. So just say that it is a virtual currency working on a technology known as blockchain, and then give some examples of what are different cryptocurrencies. It's not like there's a single cryptocurrency. There are so many cryptocurrencies, Ethereum, then Litecoin, so many cryptocurrencies are there. Then come directly to the point, because there are so many things we have to write here. How does it affect global society? So make one heading, effect on, or effect of crypto on global society. Now, when you're making this heading, now you can divide this particular heading into two parts also. Most of the people will not have done that. You people will do it. So effects of global society or effects on global society is first point, positive effect. Talk about the positive effect. And in second point, talk about the negative effect. In positive effect, give further sub points, A, B, C, D, whatever you want to write, and then negative effect. So what are the positive effect? First thing first, it promotes Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. What is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam? This you will use a lot. This you can use a lot. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Whole world is one family in economic sense. So this is saying that they are promoting or they're doing economic integration. What they're doing is economic integration. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam in economic sense. Economic integration, why? Because see, generally what happens when you have this dollar, rupiah, and all those renminbi. So these currencies, they divide you. They tell you that this is a currency of China, India, US. So they're dividing us. They're propagating division. Rabindranath Tagore sir would not have liked it because he promoted internationalism. So this kind of division is bypassed by cryptocurrency, and it unites us as a like single economic entity, which is actually a good thing. And this is a cheaper and faster transaction. Again, we are talking about some positive effects. Cheaper and faster transaction. Then it is emerging as a new asset. It is challenging certain assets like gold or real estate. It is giving them a real challenge. Earlier, people were investing in gold, in real estate. Now, one portion of money is going to crypto. So these are some things. It reduces cost of printing money. You can talk about it when you're printing real money. It is costing the central bank. It is costing the government. But this is a virtual currency. So it reduces cost of printing money. This is one benefit, a positive effect on global society. It reduces scope of counterfeiting. Counterfeiting kiska karoge? When you have a real currency, it's a virtual currency. There's very least chance or very less chance, or in fact, negligible chance of counterfeiting here. So these are some good things, positive effect. Then talk about negative effect in the same bracket, effects on global society. So what are the negative effects which you will talk about here? So you can say that it can be used for, and it is actually, some people say it is used for terror financing, it is used for tax evasion, or it can be used for tax evasion. It can be used by drug lords to promote black money, drug trafficking, all these are. And then there is anonymity. Satoshi Nakamoto, the person who was the founder of one of the like Bitcoin, right? So we don't know his identity. So anonymity is one of the biggest feature of cryptocurrency. And when you become anonymous, you become too powerful. See social media, anybody can tweet and write and say anything, right? So anonymity of crypto increases potential of crime. Then this is very tech savvy, man. We are talking about the negative effects, very tech savvy. So let's say you don't know much about internet, you are digitally illiterate, so you will not be able to access it. So earlier you had divisions like rich, poor. Now you will have one division like digital illiterate, and the people who are suffering from digital illiteracy, they will not be able to like excess it, and it can further inequality. So these are some negative effects. Now talk about Indian society. Make one heading, talk about Indian society. So you have enough fodder here. You can talk about it now. If let's say, even for people who will write mains in future, once you see the questions of pre and mains for last 10 years, 15 years, so many questions are getting repeated, man. So have a like cryptocurrency, you will have enough fodder from here. Next time when the question comes in UPSC or other PSCs also, you'll be able to write good answer. So Indian society is still evolving. We're still getting to know about it. And why this thing still evolving? Because RBI earlier banned it, then Supreme Court reversed it. Supreme Court was like, no, dude, you cannot ban it. It doesn't make sense. Then we have multiple cryptocurrency exchanges now. So they are evolving, CoinDCX, Wajirx, and Indian youth, they are increasingly interested in this Bitcoins. And so many factors are playing a role in it. Multiplicity of advertisements. TV kholo, so ad. So you're seeing so many ads on this Bitcoin world, right? So multiplicity of advertisements, they are further heightening our interest. So all these points you can talk about, and then you can say that detailed study is needed on cryptocurrency along with a proper regulatory framework if we talk about Indian society. That's it. Enough point. We have so many points to write about cryptocurrency here. Let's move on to the next part. Next question. Now, Indian society, how does Indian society maintain continuity in traditional social values? Enumerate the changes taking place in it. Now, this question has some ethical element. Ethical element means you can even use the knowledge of GS4 here. Like in GS4, you may have heard about that. Our mother is the first teacher of the children. Our mother is children first teacher. So mother and family, they play a crucial role in maintaining of passing on the knowledge. So they can also pass on the traditional social values. So this point I'm talking about, a mother is child first teacher. So what we are trying to say here, so they are saying, talking about Indian society, traditional values, how can we keep it intact? Let's go back and let's see what we were. Keep on seeing the question, keep on looking at it until you realize how many parts you have to divide it into, what are the keywords here. So Indian society, very diverse and rich, comprising of values like spiritualism, pluralism, tolerance, etc. So these are some traditional social values. Don't write arranged marriage here, because arranged marriage has both positive and negative connotation. God knows how that person who's checking the answer, he will interpret it. So talk about those things, traditional social values, which has positive meaning, because it's not like all the traditional social values which we have are awesome. So we want to continue the good social values. Most of them are awesome, but not so awesome. Like Sati Pratha, it was also a traditional social value, but it was not an awesome social value. So we had to get rid of it. So you have to be very, very balanced here in writing this answer, because if you don't maintain that balance, you will say something and the meaning will be something else entirely. So what you can do is you can start with one heading. Before you talk about how we can maintain, talk about the other part, dilution. What is happening is there's a dilution of traditional social values. So dilution of traditional social values in Indian society, write this down. And then here talk about how dilution is happening. There is increasing westernization. Remember, pivot, shut up. So there is increasing westernization. We are getting impacted by them. So we are forgetting our social values. I've just told you, go to Fiji, go to Mauritius. The culture which we had 200 years ago, they have kept it intact. And we have forgotten those cultures. So they are telling you, and this is telling you that we are impacted more by this westernization, which is leading to dilution. Then homogenization. Homogenization means right now English language is dominating the world. If you know English, you know everything. If let's say you are a very, very good person, very good student, you have so much knowledge, but you're not very proficient in English. So people will be like, ha, you don't know English. So this is stupid, man. You may not know English, but you may be very good in the other areas. So this homogenization is also leading to dilution of our traditional social values. Our linguistic diversity is in danger right now. So dominance of English, undermining of local language. Then you can talk about rise of individualism, materialism. All these are some dilutions, which is leading to dilution because we believed in collectivism. Remember, earlier there was a phenomenon of like the concept of nuclear families. You're seeing more and more this now, right now. But earlier we used to have joint families. Collectivism was the concept. It's not like nuclear family is bad. Again, you have to be very, very aware how you are writing your sentences. So you have to frame your answer very like accordingly. So you can talk about rise of individualism, materialism. All these are diluting the traditional social values of collectivism, but people were working together as an entity. Then decline of tolerance. You're talking about mob crimes or hate crimes, lynching. All these things are on rise. So all these things are diluting our religious plurality, which we are very proud of. Then the next part you will talk about Indian society, make a heading to make the examiner feel like you are talking about the point which they are asking. Indian society maintaining continuity in traditional social values. So here you can talk about our honorable PM. He talked about Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Ek Bharat, Shresth Bharat. So we're promoting these kind of initiatives, Ek Bharat, Shresth Bharat. And these initiatives will go a long way in promoting our traditional social values of collectivism. Then we have talked about this. The mother is called the child's first teacher. So mother, family, all these will play a crucial role in maintaining and passing on the traditional social values. Then this happens, and I love this, that we celebrate Diwali, Eid, etc. You may have seen Sara Ali Khan. So many people belong to different religions, celebrate festivals of all religion. This is actually very good. So celebration of festivals together by people from different religions, it also play a crucial role in maintaining the continuity in our traditional social values. Then you can conclude with that change is the only constant in life. But in spite of all the changes which we have witnessed, of modernization and all those things, we have been able to maintain continuity in our traditional social values, which are revolving around or which are based on the concept of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Again, you can use that Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam anywhere and everywhere. So that's it. And I have done, and I will try to make videos on GS2 questions also. So let's see when I do that. Revise it, have a look at it. Hope it helped you. Thank you. Take care. Be blessed. Bye-bye.